Welcome back to High Guard TV, the YouTube channel that Shakur Stevenson told Keyshawn Davis to start watching 2 days ago. I'm your host, High Guard Sensei, and I'm here with
Wolf Gang.
And y'all know what time it is. July 19th is a solid day for boxing.
Or at least it should be, with the rematch of Groin Gates between Usyk and Dubois Daniel. The bloody rematch between Fundora and Tszyu. That tall guy who elbowed Tszyu in the head, cut him open. I don't like Buddy.
Yeah.
I ain't really a fan of that guy.
I think he's a
How you
bully.
6'6" and coming in at 152 for a 154 pound fight? I ain't down with that. And a unification bout between Jesse Bam Rodriguez and a South African man by the name of one Mr. Fumelele Cafu.
God bless the man. Anyway, but all this is tainted by the pure shamelessness of Mario Barrios fighting a 55-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Why is this the main event and not Fundora versus Tszyu Part 2?
Because the PBC is trying to get into a money grab scandal with Ring Magazine and Disney, because that's the only reason I can see that they are putting this as the main event. They know that everybody that is coming to watch that fight is coming to see the rematch of the Blood Bowl between Tszyu and Fundora. They know that we're all high off Tszyu after he stopped Joey Spencer. And we're hoping that, we can come back and get Himzu. 2023 and Himzu. He was on a tear. Tony Harrison, Carlos Ocampo, Brian Mendoza, who knocked the Sonic Rings out of Sebastian Fundora. I didn't forget that shit. I lost money on that fight, by the by. That 6'6" nigga got his ass handed to him in the most embarrassing. He got his clock clean.
Wait, let me tell you something. You do know that Sebastian Fundora, he be getting cooked sometimes. Like Brian Mendoza knocked him out. Don't forget, before he won his fight against Erickson,
the Hammer
Lubin, Erickson, the Hammer Lubin was actually putting it on him.
Yeah.
So, Sebastian Fundora, he's kind of funny. Like, be true, I really like this guy. Like why are you so tall? Why are you fighting at 154? You should be a light heavyweight. What the hell are you doing here?
But he couldn't even knock out the blind Tszyu. Tszyu couldn't see with all them blood in his eyes.
Yeah.
And fought him start to finish. And he broke Tszyu broke his nose.
Yeah, think about it.
How's a blind nigga gonna break your nose?
Wait. But let's look at it like this, bro. That fight, bro, I remember correctly, Tszyu was supposed to fight Keith. I fight once in 3 years' time. Thurman.
One time.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight that guy, and it didn't pan out. I think Keith Thurman pulled out like a week or 2 weeks before. I don't remember, like, whatever. We'll probably put it there, but get the point. Like,
yeah, he had like a bicep tear.
He had a bicep tear or whatever, and he pulled out, and then, that was on short notice. But
here's
the thing a lot of people don't realize.
Fundora was supposed to fight someone.
Yes, he was
but
supposed
that
to fight
fight got
No.
had to fight
But here's the thing, man. Fundora also was, people say, oh yeah, it was on short notice. But here's the thing, for Fundora, it was also on short notice for him too. He wasn't prepared. Yeah, they both weren't prepared for each other. So that wasn't the best of them. I highly doubt that if Tszyu had his sight and had not run into that elbow, that fucking MMA, whatever. Like, if Tszyu hadn't run into that, it'd have been a better fight. He was on his way to knock him out, man. He was on his way to knock him out.
He had already staggered him by round 2.
Staggered him, he was beating him up. If they had ended the fight there like they did in that travesty that was Navarrete versus Suarez this weekend.
Charlie Suarez, I'm a big Nava fan, but Charlie Suarez got robbed.
Whatever. But if they had ended it there, Tszyu would have won the fight. But since they didn't, and they gave us an instant classic, one of the best fights I've ever seen, I still think Tszyu won. I feel Tszyu won. I feel he did enough to win, but
yeah, definitely.
whatever.
Same here.
They gave it to that.
There was no effective action from they
just gave it to Slender Man.
Yeah,
whatever.
they gave it to
and
the
Slender Man stayed on the sidelines, and then in his comeback fight, what does he do? He goes on to fight
Chordell
Booker, yeah, and obviously he KOs Buddy easily. Like, I really don't like this guy. He's too big for his weight class. He should just go somewhere else. But anyway, we're getting that rematch, and if you are to predict, I feel like Tszyu can get it done if he prepares appropriately.
Yeah,
he was already piecing him up initially, so I feel like he can get it done. But what do you think, Wolf?
I want Tszyu to work on staying lower when he's trying to get into the pocket. Because when he gets in the pocket, being low is a bad idea because of uppercuts. But Like when he wants to get things, we should watch out for that elbow guard. Stay lower. And then when he comes in, he can stand up and load him to the body before knocking him the fuck out to his fucking head.
You know why I don't like? Another reason I don't like Fundora. He likes to fight like he's a little guy. He likes to do that phone booth thing. I don't get it. Him and David Benavidez, two guys I don't really like. Like I like David Benavidez in the ring. I don't like anything about him outside the ring. You understand? But in the ring, I like the fact that. But why are you a big guy fighting like a small guy? Doing faster and inside the pocket. Trying to box in the phone booth. I don't get that. That's why I say I don't like Sebastian. I think I like David Benavidez a little more. It's Sebastian Fundora I don't really like. Like he's the one I actually despise. You understand? Because you're a big dude. You've got these long arms. Why are you, trading in the? Why are you staying in the phone booth at just throwing these short punches? I don't get it. So
they would have called Hitman Hearns the Hitman if he fought like that, man.
So, but Hitman knew how to mix it up. Like he knew how to use his reach and knew how to go inside and get the kill.
Yeah.
This lanky, slender-looking motherfucker just
because when the Hitman goes inside, it's shovel hooks and uppercuts. This guy will come in and be throwing short jabs on the inside.
Like fighting like he's a tiny dude.
And when you have an 80-inch reach or so, whatever is going on with his reach, that's like really insane. And then we now have to watch him use that fight like a T-Rex on the inside and get
he's
beaten
like
to
Mr.
a jab.
Fantastic and like
and get beaten to
I
a jab.
really just don't like that.
I'm
telling you, I really hope Tszyu can get the job done. I really hope it's not a decision. I hope Tszyu knocks the Sonic Ring out of Slender Man, and hopefully that will be the last we hear of him. I know it won't be, but I really hope Tszyu gets the dub. You understand? But moving on, we go on to Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fumilela Cafu. Yeah. So what do you think about that one? You're the Bam Rodriguez fan here. So what do you think about that?
Bam is going to win by humiliating knockout.
Devastating knockout.
Violent knockout. Bam is going to come forward and press this man in a manner he has never been pressed before.
Yeah. Do you know that Wolf thinks that Jesse Bam Rodriguez is going to beat Naria anyway?
I never said that.
Yeah,
I said the fight is very, very competitive. I'm a big Inoue fan. I've been watching Inoue since the Muhammad Ali, the boxing super series when he won the Muhammad Ali trophy way back in 2019. I've been on Inoue for a while. Bam Rodriguez has all the necessary tools to win that fight. However, Inoue is one mean son of a bitch. Look, you don't see many guys in boxing today get dropped and say, I'm gonna go get him. In a way, every time he gets dropped, he's coming for you. Like, him getting dropped is basically you telling him you can't do nothing, and he's like, eh.
Terence Crawford does
against
me Machine, against Gamboa, if you heard him, even Sean Porter, he didn't get dropped, but they told him like, you're losing, and he's like, wait, I'm losing. It's like, okay, time to pick it up.
Pick it up.
Terence Crawford does that. Shout outs to Bud. Anyway, up next, want to move to probably
our real main event.
What should be the biggest fight in boxing? The undisputed heavyweight title bout between Mr. Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois. That very shifty fellow. Like, his team has come out with every excuse in the book. Every controversy.
Yeah, I don't know who calls it Crushgate.
Crushgate with... What makes me laugh about that whole thing is that one of the guys on his team were like, when they hit him in the nuts, he went down and then he was looking at the referee and the referee was looking left and right before he said, oh yeah, let's call time. It was a groin shot. I have watched that fight more times than the person who was actually there, apparently, because immediately he goes down, the referee says low. Like, it's like even before he goes down, because he goes on one knee first, and the referee says low and holds his own groin, and then, like, Usyk is in copious amounts of pain before he gets up and gets back on him. And the reason I believe that Crushgate is bullshit is because that was not the only time Dubois hit him with a body shot. 1, 2, that was not the only time. No, that's not the only time Dubois hit him low.
Okay.
And that's not the only time Dubois hit him with a body shot. Because Dubois hit him with body shots after the low blow. And he thumped his own body and like, come on, let's go again. So Usyk clearly ain't about all of that.
But I think, like I said, okay, let me just say it how I think it is. I think two things can be right at the same time. I think, it may not be a low blow, but the referee called it a low blow, and Usyk was like, "Oh, let me take a breather, take the time allocated," because they keep saying he cheated. No, he didn't cheat. He took the allocated
amount of time.
He took the
5
allocated
minutes
amount.
for a low.
So he
And
just
then went back
took
in
a
the
breather,
fight.
and then he went back. Not a second more. In fact, he even got
No,
before.
he
got
wasn't
up
up to
before
5
the. It
minutes.
wasn't up to the
It
time.
wasn't up to 5
So
minutes.
he got up. He took his time. So I
Also,
feel like two things can be. I feel like it might be low. Then I don't know. I feel like it could be low because looking at this from this angle, it looks low. But then some other guys would disagree. But let's not disagree too much. They are getting a rematch. I don't feel those guys need to hold it up and start saying, "Oh, you're a man of God, need to do the right thing." Blah 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 blah. You guys are getting a rematch. He's giving you
doing
another.
the right
He's
thing.
doing the right
Like
thing.
the instant
understand?
the instant Dubois entered the ring after he told Turkey Al-Sheikh, make fights with Daniel Dubois with me. Like
Simple.
he said he wants to fight Daniel Dubois.
He's already doing the honorable thing. So I don't think it's necessary. But it's great for the promotion aspect of the fight. Like people are willing to see because there are people who still feel, oh yeah, Usyk cheated Dubois, they robbed Dubois. But for me, I feel like it doesn't matter anymore. We're never going to agree whether it was a low blow or not. Let's just focus on the fight at hand. I feel like Usyk is a little bit more rattled and irritated this time around because he's explaining, which is not something he usually does. But then again, we saw against Tyson Fury that all those things don't matter to Usyk. When fight night comes, he shows up. None of that matters to him. You understand? So personally, I just feel like Usyk can get the nod. But then again, Daniel is looking different. He had that great performance against AJ.
Jaromila.
He was great against. It was a slugfest, but it was great.
Yeah.
Hergovic, he was able to whip the shit out of
After
Hergovic.
1,000 headbutts.
So whatever. But you get my point. Like Dubois is a little bit different. He's coming in
He's
with
better
more
now,
confidence.
definitely.
And then again, Usyk is on the border of 40. So we never, like I said, Father Time is a real thing. You never can tell if that plays a factor. But if Usyk that fought Tyson Fury the second time shows up, he's going to outwit Dubois and possibly knock him out again.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel.
I feel okay. So for what have we learned from Dubois? You don't like that pressure. You don't like being in that pressure cooker, and that's where Usyk lives and breathes.
Yeah.
Usyk will press and
unlike
press and
AJ,
press and press
yeah.
and press Dubois from the minute the bell says go. And unlike AJ, who can be tentative and basically kind of stagnant and lazy sometimes before he decides, oh, okay, I can pop him, let me get it on. Usyk is always ready to get it on.
Usyk is a true genius of the sport. So it's a great fight. It's still a great fight any day, any time. I still say Mr. Alexander Usyk gets the nod, but we'll be on the lookout for the upset. Up next, the absolute disgrace to boxing, the absolute shambles to boxing, Mr. Manny Pacquiao, the 55-year-old legend coming in to fight Mario Barrios, the prospect who made a name of fighting a 5'5", 135 lightweight. What do you think, Wolf? Before I talk, let Wolf talk. Wolf, take it from here.
If Mario Barrios wins, he's still going to duck Boots and Brian Norman Jr. If Manny Pacquiao wins, he's either going to retire and then the belt is up for grabs. Barrios would still be number one contender, so he would have to fight either Boots or Brian Norman Jr. Which he will not.
Yes.
He would much rather Boots and Brian Norman fight for all 4 belts and the vacant WBC belt. Or what's his name? He will challenge Boots and Brian Norman Jr. and get absolutely clattered by those two animals.
Yeah.
So
there isn't much to say about this fight.
This is a nothing fight.
It's
This is a nothing fight.
Pacquiao's name versus Mario Barrios. That's how
That's
I see
all.
it. That's all. Like,
It's just
who
Pacquiao's
perfectly
name.
said
You're not
everything I was thinking
fighting.
about.
You're fighting the name of Manny Pacquiao. You're not fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Like, you're not fighting Manny Pacquiao, and that's my problem in boxing. Like, we don't need fights like this.
This
for
is
a welterweight
shameless.
championship. We don't need fight like this. This is shameful. Y'all should bring back shame in the sport of boxing. Like, there's not much to say here, but it is what it is. Except for this absolute travesty, there's a headliner. July 19th is going to be a great day of boxing, because I know, even though I don't like Fundora, I know he's going to come there to fight.
Definitely.
And Tszyu, hopefully he shows up.
Fundora
Not that
doesn't run
Tszyu
around.
that fought that Russian nigga.
Background Mirzatalayev. Hey,
Whatever
speaking
that
of,
guy is.
Eric Salubi won by knockout and called that background.
All right, let's go to Hammer.
Let's go, Hammer. Let's go. I'm rooting for Eric Salubi.
Man who dropped.
I want to
the
see
guy.
Eric
I
Salubi.
hope the guy who dropped Edgar Belaga shows up and shows out. You know, that's the fight I want to see. But anyway, I know Tszyu and Fundora is going to be a certified banger. Regardless of how I feel about Fundora.
Definitely.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez is a throwback fighter. He's going to pull up against
Come in and kill
Mr.
Cafu.
Yeah. Mr. Fumelele Cafu. Then we know we're going to get another instant classic, because as with Alexander Usyk, we always get boxing classics against Mr. Dubois, Daniel Dubois. It's going to be another banger of boxing. And then, we can all treat this the way we treated the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Just watch it because it's there, not
it's
because
there.
you care.
That's just the same thing. But that being said, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to keep your hands up
And protect yourself at all times.